I picked up the Remarkable Paper Pro about a week ago, maybe a little bit more than a week ago. I've been using it ever since. There are a lot of things that I really like about it. In fact, I really kind of love things about it, but at the same time, I'm going to return it. And in this video, I'm going to tell you what I love about it and why I'm still going to relinquish it and get something else. Okay? So here are three features, I guess, that I love about the Remarkable Paper Pro. And one of them is the ease of transferring documents from one place to the next. Remarkable is the only device that I have used so far that has an app that you can put on your computer, an app that you can put on your phone, and even a Chrome extension that you can use so that you can transfer things over to the Remarkable tablet without having to go through a bunch of steps. It's like you drop things onto the app from your computer and it'll be on your phone, it'll be on your Remarkable, it'll be elsewhere. If you want to read web pages, all you have to do is go up to the Remarkable Chrome tab and hit it and tell it to send it to you. And it's been great. I've had to sign a few contracts for a few things since I've had it, and I like it a lot for that reason. It's made it very easy to do those things. The other thing that I really appreciated is the overall quality of the software and the hardware. The software and the hardware both are very, very well done. In fact, I can't really think of how the hardware could be better, right? So here's a web page that I was looking at, and so it just basically takes it and puts it into a PDF form, and you can send it to you. But you're starting to see a little bit of what I might not be super happy with here. So let's go back to the home and go back again. And we'll just get out of here. There. And it is refreshed itself, so now it doesn't look as bad. The quality of the hardware, though, is really something to behold. The texture of this, it's impossible to really tell you what it feels like, both to touch and to use for, reading and writing. I can go ahead and mark up things on this PDF. Like if I were editing and I wanted to do things like, hey, let's mark up in red because I'm an editor, then I could go ahead and say, change, whatever. And in this way, it's really great. And if I were still teaching, this would be a way for me to do these things. I've always searched for something like this. And the hardware and the software both are really fantastic for that. The software, as I said, just being able to throw things onto the device pretty easily, whether you're at your computer or whatever, in a bunch of different ways, is highly appreciated. The one thing I don't like about this whole situation is you get this grid or you get a list, and that's it. And maybe I haven't gone deep enough to get this thing working the way that I want it to, but the home page is just this big bunch of stuff. And you can go to filter by notebooks, filter by PDFs, filter by ebooks. So you can see here, and a lot of people are always asking, hey, can I get this over to like my Amazon books over here? You can get your Amazon books put over here onto the Remarkable. I don't want to tell you how, because I work with Amazon a lot, so I'm not going to tell you how. But I will tell you that it's easy to find on the internet how to do it. I like to read comic books, and the comic book situation is a little weird. So this is a comic book that I switched over to EPUB. It does this weird thing where it shows you the page 4 different times in 4 different sizes, and then you get to the next page. Not great. And another thing that I don't like is that I cannot look at books in reverse. I love to read books in white on black. And since this isn't really an ebook reader, I can't do that. So I have to read it like that. Be that as it may. I seem to be going through more things that I don't like, even in this section about what I do like, but I do like a lot of it. So I don't want you to think that this isn't a worthwhile device. The quality of the writing experience is also something that I've tried several different devices, and the writing experience is really, it doesn't seem like it should be as good as it is, but it is. So I'm going to get just a quick sheet up here. And I found that writing with this thing, like, that's my signature. That's what my signature always looks like, or at least what I always want it to look like. Sometimes it doesn't look like that. I don't have great handwriting, but the drag of this is, I also don't have a great sense of space, I guess. But the drag of this across the page is just really, it feels, some people have said that it feels like writing on an iPad. I disagree, because writing on an iPad, even with a paper like screen protector, is not as good as this. This is more like there's something to do with the pen and the pen nib, as well as just the texture. It's not a rough texture, but it is, and it's glass. It's really hard to explain, but this is one of the best writing experiences I've had on a tablet like this. So if I were to keep this, I would keep it for the ease of use, the writing experience, the hardware itself. I got this with the folio, book folio. Wait, this is the book folio. Yeah. So I got this with the book folio, black leather book folio. It fits in here super nicely. Hardware wise, it has a lot of features that are nice. It has these little feet that hold it to the desk, which none of the other devices I've tried have had. And then it has the book folio, which, it just automatically wakes it up. I would suggest, unless you really don't want people to see what you're working with, I would suggest taking a passcode off, because there's no fingerprint reader. Most of the other devices that I have a fingerprint reader, and so I can use that. But here I can't. The leather is very nice, and the pen super magnetizes itself over to the side. I mean, it's a very tight fit. And I have over here, this is the Books Note Air 4C, and it's nowhere near as strong or as assured an experience there. The keyboard, this is the keyboard cover, and the keyboard cover is pretty darn slick. I'll show you how that works. Get this thing out of here. It's very magnetized to whatever you put it in. So here's the keyboard cover. It has the same little flap. The flap is recessed, which I think is nice, so that you will have a nice balanced back to put it on when you're not using it. You just flip that back there. And then the keyboard itself. So you open it up like this, and it's kind of tricky to figure out at first, but once you do, the keyboard is very nice. This is a full-size keyboard. And this is where we get into some of the things that I don't like, okay? So let's go ahead and go back to notes. And I'll just get a new notebook going. I've been using the lined medium as my template, but you can do a lot of different kinds of things with this. You see here, you've got calligraphy, you've got isometric, you've got all kinds of different line, just tons and tons of things. That's portrait. So here's landscape mode, checklist, blank, day planner, and you can get stuff like that, cancel. So I'm just going to set up a new notebook. I'm going to view all these in landscape. I'm just going to set up a blank screen, and I'm going to create this thing. Now, you can type, right? And you can select different kinds of text in terms of the typed columns. How wide do you want them to be? You can grab the text and move it around, I believe. You can circle it and then edit text. There are only a few different kinds of text that you can select. And let's see if I can. So you can bold things, you can italicize things. My overall problem with the text is that it's not really useful when I work on something. So I write. Writing is my main thing. And so when I write something, I want to be able to just export it into another document, have it there that I could import, et cetera, et cetera. This makes it, this feels untethered as a typing document. And that is kind of the point. That is kind of the point of this. But at the same time, I don't want to have to go through extra steps. Like when I want to get rid of this, when I want to go out of this, when I want to do something with this. So now I can go into refine mode, and this allows you to hold the marker on type text and drag and select. Okay, fine. It needs to be more exportable than it is. And while the typing experience here is fantastic, here's your refined button. It's very much kind of like a Mac keyboard. It has a lot of like bounce back to the keys. It's really nice. And I can't say that it's not. You can change the templates whenever you want to, because all of these things are on different layers. Suffice it to say that while this keyboard is extra nice, really extra nice, and you can collapse it down so that here you are in keyboard mode, and then you can collapse it down and turn it over and go back to portrait mode like so, and get back to all your stuff. This is great. And the keyboard is big, though. The keyboard makes this very slim, svelte thing. It's like twice as big as the thing itself. I don't know if you can see that easily, but kind of twice as big. Maybe 1.5 times as big. And so if you want to get the keyboard, the type folio, and the book folio, and you want to use the book folio sometimes and you want to get the type folio sometimes, you can do that, but they are very expensive. You can buy this in a few different ways. I got mine at Best Buy in a package that had the book folio, the Remarkable, and the Marker Plus, which is a little bit nicer of a marker. It has a nice sort of tactile feel to it. It's kind of rubbery, it has a texture to it, not unlike, not sandpaper, not that rough, but that kind of consistency, I guess I would say. And the pen nib is more like an iPad pen nib. The other pen nibs are kind of more graphite-like, and they have some give to them, and they ultimately wear out pretty quickly. This is much nicer, and the Marker Plus has the eraser functionality, which, if that's something it is nice to have. But the Book Folio, the Marker Plus, and the Remarkable are available at Best Buy in a package for $800, $779 plus tax, which takes it over $800. That is a lot for a device like this. No matter how nice this is, that is a lot. While I don't mind paying a lot for things that really are very well made and work well, when you're asking me to pay $800 for a tablet, I need more. I need to. The beauty of the Remarkable tablet is that it's not an iPad replacement. It's not something that's going to replace your Android or your Apple tablet that has, all kinds of apps on it and everything else. This is something that is more like the anti-tablet, where everything that you do on it is a much more, it has its roots in analog functionality, writing, typing, etc., etc. Where it sort of falls down to me is that there is a nexus where those things have to come together, that this meets in some places and doesn't meet in others. And that to me is ultimately the problem. I wrote down also a few things that are very basic about this device that I don't like and I don't think I can live with. Now, one of them is the overall size. And people who use the Remarkable 2 really like the fact that this was pretty much the size of a piece of paper. The Remarkable 2 had kind of a tab down the side here that really could work well as a way to hold it. I find that I get a lot of phantom touches by just trying to hold it this way. It's not really a landscape device until you put it into the keyboard case. And what I would love to have in a tablet like this, something that was more like a companion to what I'm doing at my desk, and then I could take it elsewhere and I could do other things with it. But this is a little bit too big for that. I think I kind of want a notebook. I don't want a full-size notebook. I want something that's a little bit less than that. So that's one thing. Another big selling feature of the Remarkable Paper Pro was color. The color is okay. The color is good. It's better than other tablets. It's easier to read. And so I like the color on this. However, when using it to take notes, I have found that the color is kind of useless to me. And if I'm doing things like taking notes and the color is of no use to me, then that's a problem. So here we are. Like, this is supposed to be red, and it's more of a light salmon. And as an editor, I really like like red. So this is the calligraphy. This is the paintbrush. So that's magenta. You can hardly see that. You don't get a full array of colors. The way that this works is that each of the little pixels inside have colors as well as black, and they come to the surface based on the electromagnetism of it all. This is blue. And yeah, that's blue, but it's not a striking blue. So if I were to go with colors, I would want the colors to be more recognizable. I mean, you can, here's the marker, and that's black. but here's marker in green. And yeah, it's green. But when I saw these things in, when I saw the Remarkable advertised, and when I saw it, in their marketing material, the colors were like pop, 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 pop. But what I realized is that I'm not one of those people who makes really interesting looking notebooks with boxes and arrows and all those kinds of things. I just take notes, and it's more of just like a word salad. What am I looking for? I brain dump. I'm not real meticulous about making things look nice. So the color ultimately is not useful to me. And if that's one of the main features that this has over top of the Remarkable 2, which is also still available, the Remarkable 2 is I think $500, and it's a couple of $100 overall cheaper, which to me is a good thing. I've tried the Remarkable 2, tested it at Best Buy versus this. I like both of the writing experiences. They are different. The Remarkable 2 has more of a pencil-like feel because of that sort of softer tip, and it has a drag to it that is more pleasing. It's kind of like the experience that I get with this iFlyTek AI Note 2, which this is a very nice little tablet, but really geared towards people who are doing classroom or boardroom office type stuff with meetings. I've talked about the typing capabilities. I'm working on, so let me give you an example, okay, of why this would be frustrating to me as a writer with the typing capabilities. So I'm working on a novel right now. Here is the text. And I can go ahead and mark this up and say no or whatever. But I can't get this text out of here and into a Remarkable Note, so that if I wanted to work on this, then I could work on it on the Remarkable. It's a PDF, and it will forever be a PDF. And all the notes that I take on the PDF will be on the PDF here, but they won't transfer elsewhere. Now, that is a useful thing, but it is only moderately useful in my use case, and probably the use case of other people as well. There's also an issue with, and you've probably seen it as I've worked on this. In fact, it just happened right there. Now, Remarkable is fully aware of this, and they let you know even in the setup process that this is the case. But when you get into this, right, there is a very pronounced refresh, however you want to say it. So, especially when you're working with color, you see that it does three things. It brings everything onto the page, and then it sort of pulls it all together, and then it flashes the color. And this is a Gallery 3 e-ink screen, and that is the way Gallery 3 e-ink works. It's a problem of the technology itself, but it's one that I've found to be more distracting than I could get used to over the course of a week. And so, like if I'm reading a comic book like this, it just really impacts the experience. As much as I don't want it to, as much as I think it wouldn't really matter all that much, it really impacts my experience. And I also, like I said, I like to read inverted. So this would all be color, but this background would be dark. I just find that's easier on my eyes. I have corrected vision, and I end up getting a lot of eye strain because I work on the computer a lot, almost every day, and because that's just the nature of life these days. So whenever I look at an e-ink screen specifically for the purpose of reading, I always have the text inverted. I'm going to show you what this looks like on the Books Note Air 4C. One of the things about the Books devices is that it's based on Android. The Remarkable is also based on Android, but it's just based on Android in a way that it doesn't allow you to it doesn't allow you to do Android things. I believe that it's based on Android, I should say. But that means you can download, like, here's my book, and it opens up, and I can still do all this kind of stuff. I can do AI things, which in this case is just, shape perfection, all that kind of stuff. There's my book, and we'll go back to the front page. When I go to the Amazon, so here you see how this looks on Amazon. Just sort of compare. So with the Amazon app, I can have these dark borders. I can't have that on the Remarkable, and that is that's something that I don't like. So finally, one of the reasons that I bought the Remarkable is I knew I wanted a Remarkable tablet. I knew that they were considered the best, the most well-made, et cetera, the best experience. So I knew I wanted to get a Remarkable tablet, but the thing that made me go away from the Remarkable 2, although it was smaller and I liked that, and it was thinner and I liked that, the thing that made me go away from it is it doesn't have any backlight, no backlight at all. And I always have had a backlight on everything that I've used. I've got tons of lights on right now, but often I have very little light in my day-to-day existence. So having something with a backlight is kind of imperative to me. I tried to use this in bed and read some stuff, and the backlight was way too dim for me to be able to do that comfortably, or at least. And to show you what I mean, I'm gonna pull this down. The backlight has been at 100% the entire time. Now the backlight is off. The backlight is on. So I'm sure there are reasons that they did this, but I don't know what they are. Meanwhile, the backlight on this, and you can control the temperature of it, so I don't know if this Books device is the right device for me either. So this is the Books device without backlight at all. This is the Books device with 100% backlight. So here are my final thoughts on the Remarkable Paper Pro. I fully recognize what it's good at. It's very good at creating the kind of immersive experience that we get when we're not on a tablet, if that makes any sense, that we get when we're writing on paper or typing on something that's not connected to the internet. It's very good at creating that experience. And so you're immersed in what you're doing in a different way. And it's not just about not getting notifications. I mean, your brain focuses in a different way. It's a very elegant device. I mean, this thing is just very, very nice. Very, very nice on a lot of levels. And it is, software-wise, the easiest to get things to and from in terms of getting things on and off. Now, like I said, it doesn't make getting text on and off very easy. It almost seems like there shouldn't be a type folio for this because it's really meant to be a handwriting device. And they put the type folio together, and I understand that it's something that some people probably want. However, I mean, we've got $800 for everything plus $229 for the type folio, so $1,000 for the entire Remarkable Paper Pro experience. And again, I'm not averse to paying for things that are going to get me the experience that I want. I like nice things. I like things that create that are very bespoke, that create a certain kind of experience. And this does that. But because of the $1,000 price point, it does that, and then it falls short. And so as much as I would want to use it, I would use it only for specific things and not for other things that I would want to use it for. And that's why I think that I'm going to be taking it back. You can get the Remarkable 2 for about half of what I paid for this right now because it's, holiday season and they're on sale. But again, I don't know if I want the Remarkable 2 because I don't know if the backlight is a big deal to me. So I'm on a quest. And while the Remarkable Paper Pro is an incredibly impressive device that I like a lot, the three things that it's made to focus on are notebooks, PDFs, and ebooks. The notebook aspect of it is fantastic. The PDF aspect of it is really great as well, except for trying to transfer out your notes that you might have made on a PDF. The ebook experience is not very good. It's not very good, and I don't know that I would suggest it. I don't think I would recommend the Remarkable Paper Pro as an ebook reader at all. And then if you notice here, there's nothing about typing. There's nothing about typing in those three categories. So typing is just something that's not there. Who is the Remarkable Paper Pro for? It's for people who want to have a much more analog kind of experience, the kind of experience that you get when you write by hand, and not the experience that you get when you write by hand on an iPad, if that makes any sense. It's also for people who are visual artists and want to have like a large sketch pad, but I'm not a visual artist, and from what I've heard, a lot of people would prefer to do sketching and use Procreate on the iPad or use something else because the colors in this are very limited. If you're somebody who the price is not going to scare you off, and what it gives you, it's so hard to explain, because the power of the Remarkable ecosystem is being able to keep notes and organization and everything all in one place using one kind of input. And that's something that we can't, that is very difficult to do in the modern age with the plethora of modern devices that we have. And it is very powerful to do that, but it also feels very niche. And I guess we'll see. I mean, Remarkable has been very successful, and now they're in Best Buys, and maybe they'll be even more successful. But I have a feeling that more people are going to buy the Remarkable 2 as opposed to the Remarkable Paper Pro. And some who do buy the Paper Pro may go back for the Remarkable 2, or they may look into something like a Books device or some of the other devices that are available out there. The Books device is 10.3 inches screen-wise. It has this nice little tab over here so I can hold it. And it has some of the things that a Remarkable 2 has. It's the same size as the Remarkable 2, I believe. I feel as though I've rambled on here. And I haven't delved as deeply into the Remarkable Paper Pro as I might want to, or that I could, before sort of thinking about whether or not it was the right device for me. And I believe that if I really dedicated myself to it, it would be something that would be beneficial to me. But there are just those few things that keep it from really being the right thing for me. Your mileage may vary. Anyway, let me know what you think about Remarkable Paper Pro or Remarkable 2, other e-ink tablets or devices. Let me know what you think of this stuff down in the comments below. Tell me if you use one of these things. Tell me if you want one of these things. Tell me what your experiences have been or what you hope to get out of it, and we'll have a boisterous discussion. Otherwise, thanks for being here. Until the next time, I'm out.